Hello and welcome to McHenry County College. I'm Sheri Doyel and I'm the director for the Center for Agrarian Learning here at MCC. And today we are out at our high tunnels. It's a breezy day. There's always a lot going on at the college. We're glad you could join us. We're here to talk about the tunnels that are part of our entrepreneurial agriculture program here at the college. And in that program, people can take their business ideas and learn business skills along with the skills of growing food. There's an associate degree and also 2 certificate programs. So these tunnels are awesome. They're brand new. We're very excited about them. And they are different from greenhouses. So in these structures, you can grow food inside, but you grow it in the ground, not on tables. They're also not heated like a greenhouse would be. And they're covered in a flimsy plastic, not a rigid plastic or glass like a greenhouse. So they are quite different. And what these tunnels allow for is something called season extension. And you know that here in the upper Midwest, we have a short growing season, pretty much late April to October, and that's it. So these tunnels do exactly what they sound like they do. They extend the season. So you can grow and plant as late February, early March, all the way into December. And in fact, with certain strategies, you can even grow food, fresh food, in the dead of winter. So we are excited to feature these in our program. And right now, we're in the middle of the shelter-in-place order. So we don't have students here learning on campus, they're learning remotely. And therefore the tunnels are not yet being utilized. So we're going to give you a sneak peek at a local farmer who utilizes season extension. His name is Tim Brown, and he's with Broadview Farm and Gardens, and he's in Marengo. And we're going to visit Tim now so he can give you a tour of his high tunnels in production, and you can see what that's like.
Hi, good morning. My name is Tim Brown. I own and operate Broadview Farm and Gardens in Marengo. We're getting ready to go into our 5th season here, and I want to talk to you about a few of the things we have growing in our high tunnels. As you can see, we have a couple different crops in here right now. We have spinach here in some of these beds, and we're also doing a lettuce mix. Now, spinach, which is the hardier of the 2 crops, has actually been growing in here since last October. And we planted it in the fall with the idea that it would be overwintered and we would be able to harvest it in the spring. Because of the low light situation here in Illinois, we can't grow things year round. So we plant out in the fall, and depending on how much time the crop needs to reach maturity, we plan to either have it harvested that fall, or in the case of the spinach, it overwinters, which is really good. It actually makes for some really tasty spinach. It makes it really nice and sweet. So like I said, the spinach was planted here last October, and it pretty much was able to be established in the first few weeks, and then it went almost dormant. Not entirely, it's growing very, very slowly, but because of the low light situation, it doesn't do too much. It really kind of takes back off in the early part of the year, January, February, when we start to get the sunlight coming back. So that's when it's able to reach maturity, and we've been harvesting on this crop for the last 2 weeks. And it's fantastic, like I said, it tastes great. The lettuce is slightly more tender, and it won't overwinter. We've tried it a few times, and it dies out in the winter time. It's too much, especially here in northern Illinois. If we reach those temperatures where it's, negative 20 degrees outside, even though the tunnel protects the crop, it's just still too much. So the lettuce actually was planted about 3 weeks ago, and it's growing pretty well. It was able to establish itself, and now it's just now beginning to take off. So we should be harvesting this lettuce in the next 2 weeks or so. And like I said, it's a mix. We do 4 different varieties in here, and once it all reaches maturity, we cut it and we mix it all up. And it's a fantastic blend of lettuce. This high tunnel has been it's been a fantastic asset for us to use for season extension. So we're able to extend our season a couple months into the fall, and then we can resume again, and we can pick it up early a couple months in the spring / late winter. And like I said, we have 2 tunnels. So this is the number 1 tunnel. This is the highest of the 2 tunnels. And one of the benefits of having a high tunnel is it allows the heat to dissipate slowly in the evening. So once the sun goes down, the heat remains in the tunnel, and because of the height, it's able to dissipate slowly, which is fantastic for the crops. It allows the crops to not be too shocked by drastic heat and cooling shifts. So that's tunnel number 1. Now we're going to stop, and I'll take you to the other tunnel. So this is our second high tunnel, and this high tunnel was just completed this spring. We began construction last fall, and we just put the cover on really just a few weeks ago. So we're going to step inside. This is a dual-purpose tunnel. We're using it in part as a greenhouse and also as an in-ground high tunnel. So as you can see, we have some lettuce starts here. These are getting rolling here. We're going to plant these outside. And so the first 24 feet of this tunnel is going to be used as a greenhouse space for new starts. And the rest of the tunnel is going to be planted out. So right now we also have spinach in here and a little bit of lettuce mix as well. And then when this comes out, we're going to plant tomatoes in here. This spinach was not overwintered. Like I said, we just completed this tunnel in the spring, just a few weeks ago. And this spinach was planted out early. So we started this in the greenhouse and we planted it out, it's been just under 2 weeks now. And as you can see, it's establishing itself. It's going from these light green leaves to these rich dark green leaves. That's when you know the plant is being established. It's getting the fertility from the soil, and it's just now starting to take off, which is really exciting. We grow spinach mostly because, well, it's a fantastic crop that most people like to eat. It's not difficult to sell spinach. In fact, we can pretty much sell as much spinach as we can possibly produce. So from a production standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. And right now, this time of year, people are craving those dark green leaves and they want that nutrition. And spinach is a fantastic crop to grow. And it fetches a good price both retail and wholesale. So we do sell both. We sell primarily farmers markets, but we also sell to grocery stores and restaurants, and we also do the CSA. So everybody likes spinach. You don't, get on the train. It's awesome. Like I said, we also have some lettuce mix. And in our tunnels, because they're not getting rainfall, we have to irrigate our crops, okay? Which is what you see here is a drip tape. So this is a drip tape irrigation. Right now, the irrigation is in the aisles because we had to cultivate the beds. You see these are pretty weed-free beds. Came through a few days ago and cultivated all this. And when it's time to irrigate, we'll lay the drip tape back onto the bed and turn the water on. And like I said, high tunnels, season extension is almost a must in Illinois. Really, it extends our season an additional 4 months at least. And when you talk about overwintering certain crops, we really are able to get a fantastic head start on the season. And once these early crops come out, we get to use these tunnels again for the really warm, the crops that love heat and they don't like the rain, like tomatoes or peppers. So we get to use these tunnels pretty much all year round, and it's just a fantastic asset for our farm. So I hope you enjoy the video.
Thanks, Tim. The good news here at McHenry County College is that these tunnels will be up and running in the fall. We hope you will come visit us. Our entrepreneurial agriculture program is super exciting, and these sorts of innovations are exactly the type of thing we want to share with you. So eat good food, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the fall.